With a strong northerly gale forecasted to start in 36 hours, it was time to leave Santo Domingo and sail the short distance to Mulege to resupply the boat. Having not used the engine in some 10 days in our usual fashion, we sailed off anchor, although this time it was a pretty slow affair. Live update. Trevor was nervous that he didn't have any steerage, but he just rolled out the Genoa, and it seems like we are getting back to it.
Yeah, that was just a reef.
I did grab the key though, because I was not sure. But I don't think we're gonna have to use it. Well, we're able to stay about a half a mile off the point, which is great because there's some rocks and reefs there. And we've been slightly ghosting along, slightly feeling some of the swell, as you can see. But watch your head, Trevor. But we're almost through our little doldrums, and I can see the wind on the water, probably another, 400 feet ahead of us. So I think we're gonna make it to Mulege in a good fashion. Hopefully not having to put the motor on at all. And Trevor made me an English muffin with egg. Exhilarating.
That's what I was thinking.
Absolutely exhilarating.
Having a very exhilarating sail right now. A little sarcasm in there, I guess, eh? But we still haven't touched the engine for this month. That's the 8th. That's pretty good. Yeah, creeping across here. This roller's coming in from the Gulf of California. A little frustrating, but we can handle it. We feel pretty dedicated to not turning the engine on right now, even when we're going 1.5 knots with all 4 miles to go. The wind's kind of filling in and out. That's all good. Well, this rolling swell coming in here has cracked us. We are turning the engine on for the first time, I think, since November 26th. I think 2 weeks since we touched it, having sailed on and off anchor 5 or 6 times now. Boom.
She still works.
We are rolling up to Mulege here now. That's a terrible start.
We're rolling up here to Mulege.
We're just about at the mouth of the river, and we're gonna anchor up just off the shore near some RVs. See if we can get rid of that garbage that we've collected off the beach, or see if someone will take it and put it to an appropriate place rather than us trying to bring it up the river and find a garbage can.
Mulege is a very cool place to sail to, but is only possible in very calm conditions, or if the wind is coming from the west, both of which are very rare in the winters around here. Lucky for us, the swell was subsiding and the wind was forecasted to swing to the west, so we were able to anchor at the river mouth.
We're walking in town. Decided to just leave the sup at the beach right behind the boat rather than go up the river because the tide's going out. We don't know if the water purification places are open. On Google, one showed being closed and the other one didn't have a schedule. So rather than do all that hustle, and we decided to get a bit of exercise and we'll take care of our groceries today. I doubt we'll have a hard time hitchhiking at least part way back down here. So we're gonna walk into town now and go have lunch and just look around. Looking forward to being here on our own schedule, though we really appreciated the folks that gave us a ride from Santa Spec here a couple of times. It's a good looking fish. Doesn't like us being here. That's pretty cool.
It was a good half-hour walk into town, but we enjoyed getting to stretch our legs after a meandering sail over to Mulege. Sitting on the Rio Santa Rosalia, Mulege is an oasis of greenery that we were very happy to return to. We grabbed lunch and a treat, and then got to work loading up the groceries at one of the several excellent tiendas in town.
Yum. Duggies. This one's cartoonish. Yeah. And this one's like a bit drunk or something. We're back at the boat after a very successful day in Mulege. thanks to the kindness of some new friends, John and Jane. They saw us walking along with all our groceries and offered to give us a ride back down to the beach. It was completely out of their way, but they said, we're retired, and they're just really friendly Canadian folks. John and Jane have just bought a small sailboat as well, a 30-foot Balboa, I think it's called, which are really neat little boats. Thank you so much for offering to give us a ride. And then when we mentioned what we're doing tomorrow, getting water, they said, well, we could give you a ride. And they even waited around while we went and got our water jugs. That was very much appreciated. It made our day a lot easier, and tomorrow will be very easy now, just needing to do laundry and a little bit more grocery stuff. So yeah. The Rio Santa Rosalia is too shallow to bring a sailboat into. However, at high tide it's easy going with the dinghy. We had a really fun time zooming up the flat waters of the river while being mindful of the shoals that exist. If attempting at low tide, one may want to go slower, as rocks and gravel bars are known to catch the propeller on an outboard engine. We were able to travel about 2 miles up the river right to the highway, where there is an easy spot to leave the dinghy and walk into downtown.
Oh gosh, look at all the jellies! New jellies! Wow, cool. Wow, they're so blue.
Hey, buddy. So we dinghied up to Mulege. That was a lot faster than walking. And we were able to plane the whole way without concern because the tide's high. But I think at lower tide you'd have to be a little more careful. And yeah, we're going to drop our laundry off, and then we'll come back and get our gas and propane to fill up. And a little more groceries and be back to the boat, hopefully quickly. See how fast the laundry can get done.
You're cute. Oh, you're really cute.
Oh, looks like we have a friend for the day. In Mexico, the dogs walk the humans. Our day in town went super smooth, seeing us back at the dinghy just after lunch. Despite not giving these pups any scraps of food, they were glued to us as we walked around Mulege. The white one was pretty dedicated in trying to start a new life at sea with us, as he chased us down the side of the river for quite a distance.
Oh my gosh! This buddy loves us! Oh, don't jump, buddy.
With less than 12 hours to go until gale-force norte winds were forecast to start, we were quick to stow our groceries and sail north to Punta Chivato. Kat is going to give the helm portion of sailing off the anchor a try here. So I'm going to be up at the bow and Kat's doing it back here. So she's hoisting the mainsail now, and I'm going to head up now as well and get the anchor coming. Yeah, probably.
Yeehaw! We just had a very nice, successful sail off anchor. It was very mellow and fun. Our buddy Chris also raised his mainsail at the same time. I saw him just pull up his anchor, and so we should be off to the races.
Ooh, there's a couple more sailboats, one motoring and one sailing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Looks like we're gonna have a party at Punta Chivato. Yeah.
We just turn around to go meet up with Chris here, and then we'll do a little friendly race for a few minutes, and then tack and be on our way. It was fun to sail up alongside Chris and to exchange this footage too. Chris is enjoying his second season aboard his first boat, an Allberg 37, and pretty much always single-hands it. Like us, Chris is very dedicated to leaving the engine off unless absolutely necessary, so we were having a lot of fun bungee boating with him. Thanks for the footage, Chris. we've had a really nice sail across, just about 10 miles from Mulegé to Punta Chivato, and we're about a mile out now. We're going to tuck up right by the hotel to be as protected as we possibly can from this upcoming norte. It'll be a 2-day gale where it should be blowing about 40 knots off the point, but apparently this place stays pretty calm in terms of sea state when it is blowing northerly. It's a pretty big point, so looking forward to just hunkering down here and enjoying the windy sunshine coming up.
Hi.
Sleepyhead. Cat's been enjoying some nap times while we've been sailing. Okay, we anchored up in about 8 feet of water. It is pretty low tide right now, so it'll probably end up being about 10 or 11 feet by when the tide comes up. And we got Chris coming in right now under sail, and he'll probably end up dropping sail and anchoring as we do. He's of that style as well. And then just one other boat here, catamaran, and a couple fish boats further back that anchored up as well. I'm assuming to wait out this weather. So this will probably be it for the little gale crew here. Into gale gusts now, probably steady 20 to 25 knots, and then gusting into the 30s for sure. Dust getting picked up off the shore and ending up on the boat. Things are dusty out here, but yeah, it's fine so far. It's supposed to pick up some more through the day, probably another 5 knots, so I think we're gonna be just fine here. The angle's not quite what I'd hoped it would be. I thought it was gonna be coming straight up the beach, so we're sort of swinging into some water. It's a little shallower than I like. Right now I'm seeing 8 feet. The tide's still going out another foot or something, so it's a little, makes me feel slightly nervous, but we're not gonna move just now. We'll ride it out here. And I'm not gonna get off the boat, so it should be just fine. It is all sand. But we kind of, because of the wind angle, we sort of have this bit of a lee shore behind me right now. Though I think if we start dragging anchor, we'd drag out to sea. So yeah, just keeping a close eye on things, feeling the gusts, hearing the snubber creaking and groaning as we yawl around. Yeah, norte time.
Well, we are 16 hours into this norte and have not left the boat, and I feel a little crunchy just from sitting around the whole day, but that's okay. Our buddies here on Love Light, the catamaran just next door, said that their anemometer read 41 knots. It's hitting sunset right now and it's absolutely beautiful, and it does seem like it's picking up just right at the very end of the day. I feel like that classically happens right at sunup or sundown. So that's what I got.
We are optimistic it's going to come down just a bit overnight as it's forecast to, and then throughout the day tomorrow it's going to gradually come down. But in the meantime, it's still howling, and yeah, just hanging out. There's not much to do, just making sure we're alert and aware of any anchor dragging, but it hasn't dragged yet, and I really don't expect it to at this point, so we're good. We're just getting set to head to the shore. Before we do that, I'm going to clean off the solar panels of the crazy amount of dust. Finally off the boat, going for a walk. We're gonna head out to the point that juts out into the Gulf of California and go check out the wave action out there. So looking forward to stretching our legs finally after a little over 30 hours on the boat. Cat's getting some fresh tracks right here. Freshly blown sand. Pretty much as soon as we got back to the boat, someone turned the wind back up, and it's cooking along at probably 25 knots steady with some 30 knot gusts. So hopefully this is just the last hurrah, and it's gonna die off as it's supposed to at around 8 o'clock, and then ease to light and then by the morning. But it's just giving it right now, really gusty and a really steady 25 knots I think right now with these gusts. After a little under 48 hours, the gale force winds that had Dream of Clyde dancing about the anchorage like a drunken sailor ended. Joined on shore for happy hour by our friend Chris, we all breathed a sigh of relief that the winds were gone and a peaceful sleep would be possible again. While the gale was without drama for all the boats anchored at Punta Chivato, it certainly left our boat a few pounds heavier from all the dust and sand that pelted us. Well, the gale's certainly over, and it's a nice calm morning, just a little bit of swell wrapping around, but really comfortable on board. Just checking out the boat, there's dust everywhere, so it's going to be a little while to clean it up, especially without access to fresh water, so we'll sort of just wipe down stuff that's really dirty, and then once we get access to fresh water in a few weeks, we'll wash the whole boat down. We're going to go to shore in a little bit and go for a good long walk, check out the swell still coming in. And yeah, not much going on today, but we got a couple days left here until a good breeze comes up for us to start heading south.
Just rowing to shore. We're gonna go on a hike across the headland to a place I don't actually even know where we're going, but Trevor saw that we could walk across to another beach on the other side of this little mass of land. I gotta do yoga on the bow, first time in really 4 days or something, and I feel much better already. It's surprising how much better a person can feel if they move their body. That cute little shrew thing.
Desert Links Golf, super fantastic.
Super fantastic. Oh, there it is. Yeah. We played golf. Ah!
Well, we are strolling along here, and it's raining.
I'd say sprinkle.
Sprinkle, gentle sprinkle.
Sprinkle.
See evidence on Kat's sunglasses here.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. I think this will be the extent of it. Looks like it's clearing behind this little frontal band. Toot 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 goes the band. Hey, here's a bush that could use some rain. Yeah, here's one of the little annoying cholla cactus bits that Kat just got in her leg, and they really hurt. They all have little barbs in them basically, and they're tricky to get out, and then sometimes when you're pulling them out, you get them stuck on your finger instead too.
Ow.
There we go.
Oh yeah, there's 2 stuck in there.
Ouch. Here's where they come from. The wind quit blowing like, I don't know, maybe 12 hours ago at least, but the swell is still pretty significant coming in. I bet you it was something to see yesterday though. You could see where the water actually came all the way up to the edge of the sand dune structures here. This is cool. Check it out, Kat. The little like wavy dews. Isn't that cool?
That's cool.
We have most certainly seen a lot of plastic on beaches, but this one, I haven't seen this amount of microplastic where it's broken down so badly, just all over the sand. It's everywhere, especially right in this part of the beach. Little palapa thingy you see in some of the beaches, like at Coronados and Loreto. And lots more garbage. Found a fishing lure in the garbage. Take that. As you'll see in other episodes, we do tend to pick up a lot of garbage, but there's just way too much to even start here. You need a vehicle and a bunch of people to clean this beach up. Chunks of boat, I think. So we often contemplate about what to do about areas like this where we just find way more garbage than we can possibly handle. In this case, like, we just couldn't carry all this garbage or even begin to. So it feels sort of futile to even grab a bag, but I guess every bit helps. But that said, we're kind of wondering if like burning it would be a worthwhile thing to do in a spot like this where it can't really get a vehicle in here and it's not going to get cleaned up otherwise. And what's going to end up happening is it's just going to turn into these microplastics and break down further, and lots of animals will start eating it as well. When it's smaller like that, it looks like little bits of food and just will be in the environment forever. So we're going to look into that and let us know what you think of that idea, and if it seems bad to emit it into the environment through the air, or to get rid of it from the beaches at the very least and send some of it into the air. Don't know, probably ends up in the air anyways. Here's the example of stuff that's going to be microplastic really soon. It's already breaking down. What are we doing?
We're gonna snorkel.
We're going snorkeling. Let's go look at some fish. Once in the water, we checked out our anchor, and as expected, it was completely buried in the sand. Upon continuing onto the shore, the water became quite murky, so there wasn't much to see, though these sea fan creatures were pretty neat. Coming up in the next episode, we depart Punta Chivato to head south. The forecasted moderate northerly winds are slow to arrive, but once out in the open Gulf of California, we are met with some picture-perfect sailing conditions. As always in the Gulf of California, things can change quickly, as we experience nearing San Juanico. Once tucked into the anchorage, we settled in for a week at this spectacular spot. Thanks so much for watching Sailing Dream of Clyde, and bye for now.